Our contract with this backwater place is just about to come to an end. And, well, thank God. I don't mind a tropical vacation every once in a while, but it's not very glamorous, considering we're here to work. Anyway, one last thing before the defense minister releases our contract, and we move on to bigger and better. Hitman team, you haven't gotten all that much airtime this deployment, so you're taking point with this operation.
We have confirmed the location of the Burlock Privateer headquarters off the coast on the southwestern edge of the Jesta Island chain. They're a mercenary group like us who unfortunately have turned to outright piracy. According to surveillance data, we have determined that they are the culprit of the recent high-profile hijacking of the Federation-registered cargo ship May Lynx. The May Lynx is supposedly carrying volatile cargo belonging to the Federation's Department of Global Energy and Sustainability Office. Nothing specific from the Federation contact about the cargo, however, our orders are to retrieve it if possible, or to neutralize it if we can't. Attempts to negotiate for it have turned up with nothing, so we're going in. Hitman team, you are to approach the island from the south along with support and establish control over the area. Your objective is to eliminate any surrounding anti-air and resistance on the island. After that, secure an LZ for our operator group Ronin to ascertain the cargo. Once Ronin lands, maintain air superiority until the next stage of the operation is determined. Be aware that the Burlocks have other Merc pilots on tap, so enemy reinforcements could be a factor.
Normally, we'd stay out of contact with any Federation-adjacent taskings. But this is the last thing we need to do for our current contract, so I'll let it slide. Two birds with one stone. Easy enough, right? Now get to work. Dismissed.
This is the ever-lovely Airborne Warning and Control Systems aircraft Galaxy. Hitman team, get on the clock.
Hitman 3, comic punching in.
Hitman 2, copy you clear, Galaxy. You gotta let us loose. Just about, Diplomat. Hitman 1, take your flight on this vector till you start to see targets on the IFF. You are free to engage. Lead the way, Monarch.
Hey, Monarch, how about we watch this mission? I wouldn't mind staying a few more days out here.
I have you on record saying that, Prez.
Don't be a snitch again, Galaxy. Hitman 1, Monarch and Prez, ready to roll?
All cog, we're engaged. Rack 'em up and knock 'em down. Get the speedboats rolling. We have attackers inbound. How the hell did we piss off? This is where we action. Galaxy will go to edge. Our fast movers on pass. We got inbound. Enemy reinforcements coming down from due north. Flashing mercenary IFFs. Green light to engage. Defenses are clear. Ronin, move in. Copy all. Drop the rope and get it out real quick. Looks like everyone's scattering.
Good tone.
Hitman team, stand by until Ronin gives the all clear.
This wasn't much of a fight, Galaxy. I think we're fine by my mark.
Ronin and Galaxy, we've got eyes on target. Looks like some sort of chromium containment chamber. Reading says it's unstable. That bodes well. Fire. Copy, Ronin. How much is present? Enough to keep an airship powered for the year, according to our sensors. It's not anything we can carry out of here. Right, one moment. Putting the contact on the line. Clean the scene. Everything you've witnessed is confidential by Federation decree. Destroy it. Copy that. Ronin, exfiltrate. You heard that, Monarch? Highlighting a new target on your IFF. Blow it when they're out. Way ahead of you, inbound from due north. Same bearing as before. Fighters approaching the flight to your direct south. Flash ident or we will flag you as hostiles.
Easy, easy. Flashing IFF. We're just the help, and by the looks of it, linked to the Burlock party.
You hired by those mercs in the fort, bud?
Past tense now, I guess. We've got no beef with you. It's your business, I'm sure you guys understand.
Put me on, Galaxy. This is Assassin 1, call sign Kaiser. I'm the leader of the Sicario Mercenary Corps. We do understand your situation. Sorry about losing your revenue stream, gentlemen. But you know how this business goes.
Don't sweat it. We're about to break off and go west anyway, towards Cascadia.
Cascadia.
Yeah, haven't you heard? Civil war against the Federation. Some rogue Cascadian ambassador's been island hopping, dropping off contracts and information all day. Yeah, the rebels need mercs, and I need a job. Master Goose 1, out.
You see, that's a team name that sounds fun to have. Right, boss? Boss? Civil war in Cascadia. Interesting.
The money came through from this contract, and our opportunities in this region have just about dried up. If no one objects, and your contract with Sicario is still in effect, pack your bags. I looked a little into the Cascadian situation, and I believe we'll make a little something of ourselves there. Sicario is moving west, ladies and gents. Information coming out of country has been spotty, but, well, let's just say there's a demand for people of our pedigree. The Federation's been eyeing a takeover of Cascadia's resources for years, as far as I remember. And it seems the Cascadians weren't going to take it lying down, based on what info's been leaked out. For those of you who don't know, Cascadia is a nation along North America's western seaboard, one of the largest on Earth, and one of the most prosperous due to its abundant natural resources and geothermal energy deposits. I've never been, but I hear it's beautiful. A country with limitless energy at its fingertips. I know some of us who were born out here in the periphery can't even imagine it, but I'm sure this hits closer to home for some of you. Moving along. There's a communications blackout both in and out of the country. And as far as the international news goes, nothing is going on except a few riots. Based on the mercenary networks, however, that is a complete lie. A full-blown conflict is proceeding. We've reached out and were given a rendezvous by a Cascadian group called the Independence Force, the main anti-Federation group recognized by the national government. I presume the Federation has the borders on lockdown to stop people like us from coming in, so stay on our toes. If we get found out by a patrol, we'll send one of our flights off to take care of them.
Sicario is moving northwest towards a rendezvous point set by Cascadia's Independence Force. We don't expect any heavy resistance given our route of ingress, however, each of our fighter groups will be pulling shifts to preserve fuel and ammo. Hitman Team, you will be responsible for the last leg of the journey, which will take us over into Cascadia proper. Be prepared to intercept border patrols.
I know some of you might not be too enthused to be fighting the Federation, so I invite you to leave with what you have of your contract. You'd only slow us down.
All Sicario elements maintain bearing. We have interceptors coming up the rear. Hitman and A-Will Gunsel planes. Vector to intercept before they get close.
Hitman 1, take point. We'll play backup.
This is Hitman 2. Weapon safeties are off. Let's see how much Federation planes pay out.
Is our targeting system
not equipped to deal with them. Send reinforcements. Copy, stand by. I'll take care of this one. Mercenaries, huh? I thought we ran you lot out after Oceana. Damn, we're putting this down. We cannot let Mars of this caliber get to Cascadia. Roger that. Moving to intercept.
Painting targets. Line them up, Monarch.
Enemy approaching the A.
High value target down. We got Galaxy?
We just lost contact with Blue Squadron's flight in this area. Destroyer Espadon, advise disengagement. We've got eyes on the perpetrators. Only 2 small flights. We can take them. Escorts, fall into screening pattern Alpha. Federation airship tagged and marked. Inman team, this one's all yours. An airship doing intercepts? What the hell is the Federation so afraid of?
Logical deduction says it's us. Now buck up. We're taking this thing down.
Missile is on the way.
Hitman 1, reporting a kill.
He's shooting! Good zone.
Good kill.
Monarch, you're locked on. Warning, it's going off. Someone's on me. Now I'm gonna get going whenever. Pioneers house down. Monarch Fox 2. We can't maintain combat viability.
Nice shooting, Monarch. Good to know we still know our way around a dogfight.
I guess we're in it now. Hey, Mick, you got any idea what the Federation is doing in Cascadia?
Why the hell do you think I know? Hey, we've got a contact.
To approaching unidentified aircraft. When the night comes, how do we return home? By midnight's light. Confirmed. Welcome to Cascadia, Sicario. Follow us. We have a temporary landing strip set up for you mercenaries.
Thanks to your efforts, Sicario was able to rendezvous with our contact and refuel for the mission ahead. You'll be heading back out within the hour, so stay on your toes, or else your time in Cascadia will be short-lived.
Hello, Sicario. I'm Captain Griffiths, otherwise known as Stardust. From now on, I'll be your point of contact with the Cascadian Independence Force. I was a National Guard pilot when it all went down, and now I'm working with you. We're pressed for time, so listen up. Cascadia's prosperity, our natural bounty, has always gone to support the world. For the last few decades, we have done this by our partnership with the Pacific Federation, providing aid and infrastructure to the less fortunate internationally. The Federation, however, in recent years has used the resources we provided to forcefully expand by conquest and military strength. We could not let our cordium or geothermal deposits fuel this war machine. Cascadia as a nation sought independence from the Federation outright, in order to prevent the Federation from imperially expanding further. Unfortunately, they turned against us. They have seen fit to unify and federalize Cascadian infrastructure as a whole. When we resisted, they turned the country inside out. We refuse to let that stand. So, here's the plan for you mercenaries right now.
In northern Cascadia, Rosedower AFB was a joint base used by both the Cascadian National Guard and the Federation. When hostilities took off, however, the Federation seized the base from the National Guard. Your objective today is to take back the base into our hands. Hitman Team will lead aerial operations, wiping out any anti-air defenses. Circus, our transport aircraft carrying Sicario's airborne troop element, will then vector in and drop onto the base to secure it.
Take care not to damage the facilities too much during the attack. Sicario and other mercenary elements will be using this base afterwards. I'm sure you want to operate from an actual base anyway, as opposed to some dirt strip. So let's get rolling.
Rosedower AFB on the nose. Wingman, you're already warmed up, so you're back on point. Soften the place up, but try to keep the good stuff standing. Hitman Team, engage. Approaching Rose Tower. We got incoming? From the south? Get air defenses up.
Hitman's not doing so bad today. For being the runs of the litter.
Monarch never disappoints, that's for sure. All airborne, prepare for a hard drop. reserve a nice hangar space for us? You know, in exchange for our good work up here.
There is no such thing as nice this far north. You should know that.
I never flew these skies like you did. Not like this. Airstrip is secured. Outside of the air defenses, there wasn't much else in terms of resistance. We're patting down prisoners and electronics, but you're good, boss. Excellent work today, Hitman. You get first pick for hangar and bunks. Hitman team, begin landing sequence. You lucky bastards. Roast hour is ours.
You make my job easy as usual, Monarch. Good show.
Don't make Cascadia regret hiring you all.
Listen up. We're about to get started. A lot of mercenaries from around the world have made their way into the country, as I'm sure you've seen. However, Sicario is currently one of the only groups that can throw around enough fighters to aid in the air war. Cascadia's National Guard was quickly scattered and taken out by Federation military forces when we originally tried to force them out of Cascadia. They came without mercy, eliminating more than 30% of our active forces. These last few weeks have been disastrous, and we're on the verge of capitulating into a full-blown guerrilla war. We'd like to avoid this, and because of that, Sicario will be deployed immediately to several of our units currently in need of support.
Hitman team, you will be deployed to an agricultural area to the south. One of the Independence Force's surviving battalions has been driven there by a Federation offensive. Presently, a collection of Allied officers preside over a rather notable amount of manpower. The Federation is currently engaged using air and ground units, so a multifaceted loadout is suggested. You might catch the Federation off guard, however, anticipate retaliation in short order. Launch and lift the siege. If that battalion falls, our forces won't have enough manpower or command to organize again.
Quiet as far as the eye can see. Hey, Deb, you were the privileged kid. This place put on anything good?
It's been over 10 years, Mick, since we've been in Cascadia. I'd have no idea. Galaxy to Hitman team. I'm patching you through to the Independence Force comm frequency. Things are getting busy. You're free to engage any Federation signatures starting now.
Weapons and radar all operational.
or no factor. Good God, we're alive! Think those mercs accept tips? Yeah, it'll take more than that to convince me. Did any of our forces get a positive ident on that aircraft that broke our line? Affirmative. A crowd! Mercenaries! Hard copy. Issuing theater-wide alert. Mercenary forces are now in play by the rebels. Hitman Team, RTB. We're reporting similar successes up and down Cascadia. If Monarch keeps racking up kills like that, we're gonna need a bigger offshore account. Us versus the Federation. Yep, that's what we're doing now. No big deal, right? Right?
Keep your nerves on you. Monarch seems to be playing out just fine. Ain't that right, Lead?
Well, Monarch's Monarch, and that's besides the point. We're home. Been about a decade, but we're back. Fighting the goddamn New World Order.
Good job, Hitman Team. General Elizabeth reports your tactical support pretty much saved his men, and a respectable amount of firepower for the Independence Force. Combined with deployments by the rest of Sicario and other mercenaries, we've been brought back from the brink and have stabilized our territory. Being able to maintain proper military formation and territory means we'll be able to wage this war the right way. Stand by for further taskings and get some rest. In truth, we didn't think we'd need you mercenaries at all. But, unfortunately, what we hoped was going to be a relatively bloodless eviction of the Federation from our homeland has become an impossibility.
Presidia, Cascadia's capital, is falling. This afternoon, the first fully fledged Federation military units have come in from out of country to reinforce their garrisons here. Among them, a massive Federation naval fleet has secured a foothold in the capital. Independence Force Command planned this rebellion to have been timely enough to seize, hold, and place defensive positions in key territories within the country before their reinforcements came. Unfortunately, with the new wave of Federation reinforcements, Presidia's main urban centers have been lost, and we can't afford to lose any more manpower at the moment. A tactical retreat has been declared. Sicario, you, alongside other allied forces, will cover an immediate evacuation of our troops still holding out on the ground. By land, by air, and by sea, we are extracting from Presidia. Protect the evacuation moving out of the AO by raising hell and taking out any Federation units that are pressing on them. If we lose any more men, we might not be able to continue fighting against the Federation.
Presidia is where the fighting started in Cascadia. However, we refuse to have it be where it ends. Not like this. Hitman Team, we expect much of you in this coming time.
Presidia on the nose, Sicario. Seems like the tactical retreat is in full swing.
I never got used to how big this entire city was. It must be a nightmare down there.
I could have lived my entire life within those city limits. Give me the sky any day. This is the evacuation defense units to anyone on this net. Please respond. I'm engaging. We have heavy attacks along our evacuation necessary. Missile is tracking.
Thanks to you, casualties sustained during the retreat were minimized. We've lost contact with our final units within Presidia, so we can only assume the worst. We just have to remember their sacrifice to cover our escape. During the evacuation, we airlifted some of our most experienced fighters, along with Federation defectors and civilians who wanted to join up with us after seeing what the Federation did to Presidia. We're at the brink right now, and losing the capital was a blow, but thanks to you, we can survive this. Stand by for your next op orders.
The Federation's interest in Cascadia has always been clear. It's as clear today as it was when we went into an association with them over half a century ago. Power. Our cordium deposits has made Cascadia an interest of the core Federation states perpetually, and because of that, we know exactly how to fight back. Even though we've lost many key territories as Federation forces land in country, we have a plan on how to cripple their advances and make them reevaluate their entire purpose here.
Mercenary forces throughout Cascadia are being tasked to attack geothermal processing and storage facilities as the Allied main force maintains our front line. By striking these targets, the Federation will have to direct forces otherwise concentrated on the front line to defending these key resource points. Hitman Team, Sicario will be tasked to hit separate facilities in the Yellowstone exclusion zone. Your area of operation will be one of the main storage facilities along the Apodoc fracture. Fly in, destroy as much of the facility as you can, and RTB before reinforcements respond en masse. It's suggested that you bring a well-rounded loadout on this one. Once the Federation knows what we're doing, they're going to be retaliating hard.
We've got alarms raising at every airbase within response range. You're on the clock, so make it snappy. Don't rush perfection, Galaxy. Especially when all you have to do is sit back and watch. Hey, babysitting is easy money. I'm not complaining. All right, Ramblers, let's get rambling. Anything and everything is free for the taking. Make sure you track your assigned targets.
We're getting reports from power plants up and down Cascadia. Small flights of aircraft slipping past our front line and hitting the geothermal industry.
Tomlin was stretching the front line so far. The leg will slip through.
Galaxy, terribly on the reins?
Well, you're definitely causing the most chaos out of all of them. Gunsel Squadron is pulled out after hitting their threshold, and Assassin is still on station. Other Merc pilots are also calling in some success.
The flow is here. Let's go for gold.
Very close. Monarch, the enemy's locking onto you. Start dropping orders on the conduits. If the tanks go off, we need to make sure we are cooking bombs.
If you want combat effective against air units, start evacuating. No need to get killed like this.
Hitman 1, good tone.
Why are the rebels using their own resources? Because we're using it right now.
Target down. Dispatch of the unit coordinated to secure containers ASAP. Follow the procedures.
We're under attack! 20-point lists are kinda hard to read while we're being bombed.
I see him. I see the mark. The rolls in that crown. Missile is on the way.
Set up the line. It's that HVT we've been hearing so much about.
Good stuff, Hitman. Operations up and down the fracture are reporting similar successes. Keep hammering them till we pull out.
Dump all the stores of the neutralizer agent into the pipelines.
Ground unit
Is
destroyed.
it that much? We won't know how long it'll take to get Cordelia production back up.
Fracture creating another exclusion zone? Let's see some chances with the Federation Committee. Begin process. Hey, Monarch. That arrangement still stand? Arrangement? Are you three making deals without my cut? on to you. Crimson Squadron's on station. Hey, Rex, is this them? The mercenaries? Affirmative. Drive these mercenaries out of the airspace, Crimson One. Roger, tally-ho. Let's chase these dogs off. We've got confirmed ID on these hostiles. We've got them pegged as Cascadians Federation peacekeepers.
Oh, freaking knew it. I'm out of here.
Yeah, nope, I'm Winchester anyway. Let's go.
We're low on ammo and failed to engage Crimson One. Our boat might be sluggish.
Bandit's mine. Tagging presumed. I lead. Peacekeepers. Hey, Launch missile. I'll take care of this one. If you're unable to fight, disengage. That would be mercenary trash getting a lucky shot off. Crimson Squadron, keep it simple. Not worth the effort. I'll take care of this one. Right on. Vasu. Enough of these marks. Causing all this trouble and just running away. Crimson One, are you seeing what I'm seeing? 5. Go with the ground ID. Yeah, he's slippery. Monarch, pop countermeasures in the vein. This one's different. Perhaps. Stay focused. Missile on the way. Missile lock. Return and tail, cowards. Don't get cocky. Cornered animals tend to lash out. I'm engaged defense, Crimson One. Be advised, if you go any further, you will not have an appeal to our TV. Fine. All Crimson elements, break pursuit. Push for our waypoint. Crimson One, are you all right, sir? It's nothing. Next time. That was too close, guys. RTV. Me and the boss are going to have a chat with Stardust.
Hitman team, your efforts in this operation was certainly commendable. If not by my mark, but the fact you garnered attention from the peacekeepers.
Peacekeeping squadrons are called in by the Federation to absolutely lock down a nation from the sky. They are usually made up of decorated pilots and Federation devotees. Additionally, Crimson Squadron is the peacekeeping squadron specifically made to watch Cascadia. Their leader, Crimson One, has become something of a poster boy for the Federation Air Force, and it's not without merit. He's what many consider to be the top ace in the world, and we can only hope that their arrival in the country doesn't disrupt further operations. In any case, Sicario's strike against the geothermal facilities in the country, coinciding with similar efforts theater-wide, has hastened the Federation offensive, buying us time to reorganize and plan for the war forward.
Let's not waste this.
Monarch and Comic, you're the only mercenary pilots on base at the moment, so this is your mission, effective immediately. A few hours ago, the remnants of Cascadia's Coast Guard was able to board and raid a Federation battleship which ran a little too close to Cascadia's northern coasts. They have promptly christened it as the Eminent Domain. The Eminent Domain is a new battleship used by the Federation Navy. Equipped with top-of-the-line armament and an electronic warfare suite, it stuffs most of the utility of an entire battle group into its hull. The Independence Force are deploying resupply and escort ships to them ASAP, however, they need air support. We have the means to repair it and gain intelligence from disseminating whatever info we can from its computers, but it is imperative that it is escorted to safe harbor first. Hitman, take off immediately. Dismissed.
Even when I'm a mercenary, I still end up fishing. Come on, Monarch, let's go.
Alright, Galaxy getting on station. Hitman's down a pilot today, eh?
I'm sure Dirk's having fun by himself hitting more energy facilities with Assassin and Gunsel.
Oh, I know he is. Normally I'd be able to monitor all of you at once, but this damn comm jamming is wreaking havoc with my capabilities. Anyway, heads up.
This is Resupply Ship Corps. We'll remain on station for the Eminent Domain to link up with us.
Roger all. Highlighting Federation ships now. Hitman, sync any and all contacts in the area before Eminent Domain gets here.
We have 2 aircraft crossing into the AO. Hot. All ships remain in current holding pattern. Do not stray. That only opens the way for attacks. We have to hold this position to trap that battleship.
eminent domain at bearing 000 from Bullseye. This is the court. All hands, prepare for contact.
Portion eminent domain. This is combat flight hitman in the AO. Coming to your feet wet. Say status?
Range is loud and clear, hitman. This is the eminent domain. Are you all for support?
All the birds you got.
Hey, give me that.
Hold on, sir!
This is Captain Woodward, commander of this proud vessel, and we graciously accept your help. Our CIC will feature AWACS information for priority targets. Get going, or we're going to be sunk before we can get back into it. We have surface contacts in front of us. Total enemy strength is now at battle group levels. Behind and forward. Good. Activate secondary guns and lift the racks on all batteries. We're not out of this yet. Merging. Adjust INF to account for new parameters. This isn't ideal. Ahead full. We will lose them. All ships form up. Rimbago's flying's up top. Once that battleship goes down, we can refocus. What's that battleship doing so far off? Guild separation, bombs away.
If I didn't know any better, the eminent domain was on her shakedown. Where else would she be underway?
Missile is tracking. Be careful, enemy AA. This is Captain Bouret of the Federation Naval Group tailing you about the battleship. Ground unit knocked down. Find the resistance we result in your death. Strike your colors and cease all hostilities or you will be destroyed. This is your final warning. Missile is on the way. Someone's going guns on me. Captain, I'm routing you a vector for rendezvous. You hit that point, and you should be able to link up with the Corps. Much appreciated, mercenary. Hey, Hitman, you guys could learn a little about courtesy from this guy.
The boss ain't paying us to be courteous, you've been great. Awful sweaty for this time of year.
You should see the geothermal storms back in the Federation mainland. Things flying apart! Launch missile! Who was that shot me?
We don't like this. Disco wish he was here. Ships these size pay well. Resupply ship, Court. We have visual.
Court to the eminent domain. Link up with us and we'll get on out of here. Below that, we've got contacts Angels 9, inbound. These look like cruise missiles from the shore. Geo deployed, ASM inbound.
Hitman 3, moving to engage.
Get the last of our AA guns ready. We can't bet on Hitman getting all of them. They're diving from above the cloud cover. Monarch, coming, intercept. All it takes is one shot from these. Knocked one out. Fox 3, Fox 3. Radar lock, take him down. All threats eliminated and scopes are clear. Good stuff, Hitman. Thank you very much, Hitman. We'll raise hell in your name next time around. Beginning resupply and refit now.
Not too bad for just 2 aircrafts, huh, Monarch?
Hitman team, RTB.
The eminent domain has made it to Allied waters safe and sound. Its repair and refit will ensure that we have the advantage near the coasts and at sea as long as it's afloat. Captain Woodward extends his regards and has forwarded you some items he has recovered from the former captain's quarters, most chiefly a bottle of whiskey. Stand by for your next sortie. One of the vast advantages that the Federation has over Cascadia is their absolute control and logistics routes. Factories and states that we can't even touch are pumping out equipment and supplies for them at a pace we'll never be able to match. However, they all have to get in the country somehow. The Federation supply train is one carried out mostly by air, now that the eminent domain is intercepting cargo ships coming into Federation ports. Civilian traffic has remained largely the same thanks to Federation communication protocols. The reality of this conflict has been kept hidden, courtesy of the Solana communication facility in the Aitor Desert. This mission is as follows. Mercenary and allied pilots will be dispatched to various points along the airways, knocking out Federation logistics aircraft and grinding their resupply efforts to a halt. By striking in broad daylight, we can openly challenge the Federation when they think they're safe. Remember, it's imperative that no civilians are harmed in this operation, so engage carefully.
Careful's my last name, and safety's my mom. Let's go, Monarch. I'd like to touch down before lunch.
Hitman team, you're arriving in your AO. Tagging civilian and Federation air traffic now. That's a lot of air traffic for a war zone, Galaxy. Watch your fire when taking down these transports. If any bystanders go down, that's on us and the Independence Force. Roger, Dodger, Galaxy. Looks like it's just me and you. No big deal, right? 7 enemy target convoys tagged. Engage with caution. Hey, we've got 2 military jets off of our 4 o'clock. What gives? You see the amount of military hardware in the air today? Escort's probably unlocked. We've got bandits. Light them up. What just happened? I'm tracking a cargo plane that was just shot down. What? All civilian airliners, forward RFS data to us. Get the attendants to shut all windows right now. What? Here? Protect the transports. I'm engaging. Hitman 1, Fox 3. Ah, goddamn! We're caught in the crossfire up here. Fox 2. The Federation counter notes that all civilian AOAs also host military traffic. You know that? The war machine will kill us all. Missile shot off. Speed up! We need to get out of the AO right now! What's going on? Hell of a day to bring multi-lock weapons out. Escorts are vectoring in to engage. Blow past them and hit those transports, Hitman 1. Within all Cascadian regional airspaces are grounded at once. Fire. Follow all orders as transmitted by Federation military call signs. Monarch Fox 3. Engaging defensive. Monarch got another one. My radar's hit. Why would the Feds send us up if they're expecting something like this? Enemy down. missile. Jake! Yeah, I was expecting that. Wingman team, heads up. We have another AWACS in the area. I barely got the head for one AWACS up here. My engine's on fire!
Have the feds been lying about the war? They're moving an awful lot of manpower and equipment from out of country.
Enemy penetrating the count line. Think the Federation is doing this on purpose? Using civilian traffic as cover? Well, if they are, we're taking the bait. We just gotta thread this needle as best we can. Nice kill!
What are we doing with the two back
Take him down.
receiving runway stuff?
Time's off the books. 205's temporary. We're sitting ducks. That's a day in the air, one in the bag. If someone's going guns on me. I'm on engine power. Reroute back to Prospero. It's the only port big enough in this damn country for us. I can't take another hit like that.
Man, what the hell else is the Federation lying to us about?
You're on the money. How conditions good? Airframe solid. Fox 2, Fox 2. Radar check. HQ, we're reinforcements in this sector. We've got 2 planes tearing down our supplies. We're trying our best, but we have similar intercepts taking place theater wide. This is nothing less than a mass air operation. There's a hole in my wing. They're not targeting us at least. That's a relief. I'm losing thrust. Warning's going off, someone's on me. This is the Federation gunship Gladius, responding to the attack in the sector. Deploying QRF fighters. Hang on. Looks like they haven't given up this airspace quite yet. We've detected a pair of advanced enemy fighters entering the airspace alongside a support airship. Shoot down the enemy. Let them know we have airspace control. Nothing like a dance-off. Merging now. It's a common pilot. Real shock into drive hotspot. Enemy on radar. Some seasoned pilots we've got here. Damn. I don't like it as Celebos have pilots like this out there. What Triple shot. Hitman 1, good zone. Fox 2. Shows up. Whew! See? Real easy. I can do this with one hand behind my back. Yep, that's me. Thanks for the carry, Monarch.
The intercept operation was a success. Worldwide, news is breaking out about the Independence Force's calculated and precise presence on the international stage. No civilian casualties have been reported, and the Federation, while dealing with the disruption of their air train, have to contend with international response to the war. Hitman 1, your flight was the most successful of these intercepts, and the Federation is currently scrambling to find alternative ways to maintain logistics.
Monarch, this is an op just for you. You know I don't like admitting this, but mercenary pilots in this world are among some of the best. They get more airtime, more time on target, than any of us national pilots outside of the periphery. In truth, you get the glamour we all thought fighter pilots were supposed to have when signing up to the academy. That and you're making 5 times what I make in a year. I wonder if that's why you went private, but I don't think you're the type to give that answer. Not to me, anyway. What I'm trying to say is, you're capable, more capable than most, getting this far in. And because of that, we need you on deck for a one-man mission.
Cascadia's southeastern deserts hosts the Solana Communication Array. It was a Federation and Cascadian telecom venture meant to expand Cascadia's networking capability, regardless of any thermal interference that traditionally plagues long-range communications. With that facility, communications between various Federation units are streamlined, while limiting jamming and interrupting our own. Nothing to say of the censorship abilities that are used to enforce the civilian information flow. This is one of the Independence Force's top targets. However, it's been outside our strike range until now. Due to its distance from our front lines, no fuel can be wasted dodging or circumventing Federation anti-air systems en route. In short, we're sending you alone to clear up the most disruptive defense systems before we engage in a full-scale operation to knock out the facility. You will insert into the Keohord defense region in the Raver Mountains and take out all critical defense systems under cover of night. The defense system is calibrated for mass aerial strikes, but a lone aircraft flying relatively level with the mountains should be able to slip through and take them out. Dismissed.
Monarch, the radar defenses are pretty hidden away on the mountain range, but your pal Galaxy got them all marked out. After this mission, don't tell me I never do anything for you.
Whatever you're training. Shut off your TV. There's nothing good on this late. What? You want to listen to the frickin' snow instead?
Monarch, ordnance away! Bullets in from HQ. Another section from Crimson Team themselves. Something about taking the mercenaries the rebels hired seriously. Yeah? Why should I? So we don't underestimate them. Defense cluster Alpha is down. From my scans, there are at least 6 other clusters in the area, designating them Bravo through Golf as we get them. You know, Monarch, I've heard a lot about why you three joined. Hitman, that is. Comic had her wings clipped, Dip was told he wasn't good enough to fly out of the academy, and you came in with him. My question, though, is what are you all looking for after all this time? You've made your fortunes, and lost them, so many times these last few years. So what else is there, huh? Never mind. It ain't like you're gonna tell me tonight. Stay calm and recall all patrol squadrons within our grid. What's the damage? They're targeting our defenses and tertiary systems. How many? Ordnance deployed. We're not sure. We think it's at least a flight. Radar lock. Take him down. You hear that? Fighters. That's only one fighter. Enemy penetrating the count line. We got a message from 2 and 3. Putting him through. You lost without us yet, Monarch? Come on, we're just a staticky radio call away. And hanging on with the mix sucks.
I'll fracture the hands of this Hitman 1 straight up. Don't take too long out there.
You guys actually like each other, or what? Ground asset destroyed. It's a single fighter. Too dark to visually ID. I'm engaging. It's a mercenary. Huh? How can you tell? The mercs have been using fuel from out of country. Cheaper for them, and it burns an engine differently. I can hear it. Hostiles willing to engage. Monarch, bombs away! Where'd the rebels send a single fighter? Maybe just for the hell of it? Don't they get paid by target? Bonsai! Positive tone. Some peacekeepers spoke about a pilot like this. It might be him up there. Federation bombs away. Monarch, pop countermeasures in evade. Evacuate the area and raise regional HQ. Tell them the mercs had one hell of a pilot around. Monarch RTB. That's one for the books.
I almost feel bad, Monarch, for making you come with us tomorrow to hit that communication facility. Especially after what you pulled off tonight, single-handedly. Though that was one hell of a thing you did. And I got a feeling Operation Blackout will need you on point. We have a straight shot to Cascadia's southeast, and, with any luck, we'll have fuel to spare for the fight. Sicario is mobilizing en masse tomorrow morning. Get some sleep. This war isn't gonna win itself.
There's nothing much I need to say to you, Sicario. Operation Blackout will be conducted entirely by you. I cannot, however, express enough how important this strike is. Commander, you have the floor.
The Ator Desert has hosted the Solana communication array for the greater part of the decade. It was a Federation project in-country that was meant to boost and maintain the communications infrastructure of Cascadia. However, during the war, it has served as a jamming and communication facility. The very basis of a unified command structure is built on the pillars of communication. If we take out this facility, it'll be like yanking the rug out right from beneath their feet. The facility is heavily defended, hosting an airbase and a ground garrison on its own. The only way we're getting boots on the ground is via a mass airdrop, followed by relentless close air support from our fighter group until the entire place is overrun. It's as simple as that. Now normally, the Independence Force would be offering some assistance, but they can't afford that now. Under any other pretense, this is a suicide mission. Even with the air corridor Monarch cleared up, there's only enough fuel for a one-way trip. So the only way we're coming back is if we take the adjoining airbase after we hit the facility. Expect heavy air and ground resistance. Pillboxes, tanks, AA, airships, the whole shebang. If we pull this off, well, let's just say we'll be handsomely rewarded. Gold or glory, gentlemen. Get to your planes. The Cascadians call this place the Devil's Sandbox. So what does that mean if we're the ones playing in it, huh? Let's go.
Galaxy to all Sicario elements. We're go for Operation Blackout. Total destruction of the enemy communication facilities are our prime objective for this operation. Cover Circus and destroy any base defenses before they deliver the ground forces to the DZ. Over to you, boss.
This is the largest deployment in our history as a mercenary group. The Independence Force put a lot of faith in us for this operation. Let's not disappoint. So I guess that also means it's dead, right?
I wish I could say the same. Okay, all flights. Looks like the enemy defenses aren't the only issue now. We have bogies inbound from the north toward our transports. That means you, Hitman. Intercept and engage.
Back off, Galaxy. We're going.
About time. Comic engaging.
Confirmed rebel forces crossing into our airspace. I've got a visual on a non-uniform flight formation and transport aircraft.
Forces this far in? We haven't been allowed to destroy anything here.
Can never pay me to jump out of a perfectly good plane. This is Roman actual to Assassin Lead. We've infiltrated the main facility. Soften up the defenses before you attack it for exfiltration. Out. We have our SOS in the AO? Affirmative, Hitman team. Gotta make sure we have an exit strategy.
I don't want to die, damn it! Move it! Good tone.
On the drop zone. Go!
We're going over. Hold on. Air assault operations go. All Circus flight elements remain on station until the airfield is ours. Gunsel 6 and 7. Cover the Circus until reassigned.
Copy that, Galaxy.
Hitman flight. Being reassigned to air-land battle. Search and destroy targets of opportunity at will. Secure the battle space as our ground forces get set for the attack on the main facilities.
We'll go, Galaxy.
Come on, Monarch. We're free range now. We lose anyone on the jump?
Hell of a job to keep the target on. It's gonna be the biggest payout for me.
Sheesh. What kind of contract do the ground forces get? Am I being underpaid?
You're paid more in a mission than some of our grunts do in a contract, you know.
Diplomat, you're as cheap as the booze comic buys.
Hey, how about you come and fly, you glorified radio jockey? Cut the chatter. All Sicario ground elements regroup and get rolling ASAP.
The enemy's dug in around the outlying facilities. Looks like a layered defense. Hitman team, engage at will. Gunsel team, act in support. Assassin, you're providing direct cast for the ground troops. Missile away.
Hey, Gunsel, Assassin, lend us a hand here?
Negative, Hitman 2. You can handle it.
Entire battlefield?
considered no factor. Ground units, confirm? Yeah, see the smoke, Galaxy. This is Ronan Actual. We've seized the tower and put out an all-clear on the Federation comms. I think we're running drills. We should be clear until the next update schedule in an hour. Good work today, people. All damaged aircraft, land and do repairs as needed. If you can't, just take one of their planes. Ground forces, smash and grab anything worth it, and await pickup by Circus. Let's not overstay our welcome. This is the Circus. We're coming in.
All right, pick up what you need to get out of here. We can celebrate when we're back at Rose Tower.
All pilots, listen up. I'm getting in my plane right now. So when this briefing is done, I expect to see all of you running.
All Allied air power not currently predisposed in other operations are to be scrambled immediately and make their way to the Bering Strait. In the days since the destruction of the Solana communication relay, the Federation has been disorganized and subject to our own electronic warfare countermeasures. It is because of this, our first conventional victories up and down the front lines are being reported, and the Federation is dealing with losses it hasn't had to deal with in decades. Recently, in order to improve individual unit combat effectiveness, the Federation has been discharging Cascadian manned units and replaced them with soldiers who aren't nationals. Subsequently, many of our once misguided countrymen have defected and are providing us with invaluable intel and manpower. Earlier today, one of our patrols caught a group of transports using the cover of an Arctic storm to get unorganized and underpowered Federation units out of Cascadia, probably to regroup and redeploy later. The patrol engaged, and the Federation sent more fighters to cover them. Seeing as these transports represent the bulk of Federation forces who have experience fighting us, we did not want them to regroup, so we sent more reinforcements. Squadron leaders and base commanders on both their side and ours have been escalating force deployment ever since combat began. High-profile squadrons and our forces in theirs are currently present. This snowball effect, however, has inadvertently created, by all accounts, what is turning out to be the most expansive aerial battle in the war thus far, and is steadily falling out of control. We cannot let the Federation have any more of their forces escape and regroup, even if it means the largest furball in history.
Flashing items and 1 locked on. Monarch, seems like you're top dog today. Keep it up.
With some darling support after all.
Shut up and keep fighting. You've still got bogeys. Don't drop your guard. The Federation always has more up its sleeve.
Monarch. Hell of a tax name.
Self-proclaimed. Entire kingdoms are found by people like him. He's never back. Every king is just. Fox 3! Fox 3! Try not to sign anyone else's mark. Sky's crowded enough as it is. All these missile trails aren't doing visibility any good. Getting close to the guns, then. If we don't disengage, we're all going to get shot down! I'm one on base. Someone got some brain. God, it feels like I'm gonna be hit by a stray missile any second now. I'm getting IFF signatures from all across the Federation. Madagascar, the King of Ulaanbaatar, Oceania. Hell, we've even got deep Federation states present. And I always loved an audience. Always thanks. Remember, getting these transfers back home is your main priority. Focus. You're asking us to fly through a firewall and a snowstorm. I don't like your chances.
Let's show those nerds what the Cascadian Air Force can do!
I'd love to throw to a dogfight as much as the next sailor. However, we have to concentrate on search and rescue for our downed pilots.
Why the hell did command send us out here?
With this many people, the first to stand down is going to be on the back step in terms of air power. It's a test of endurance. Show me the money!
You actually live here? Are you kidding me? I live for this!
Cruiser right on that ground. Take out the king, and the rest will fall. Are we getting any more support? Our entire air force is in this fight already.
That fight being led by the Crown. Those are the ones that got away from Crimson.
We'll show those blowhards what a salt-of-the-earth pilot can do.
We plain go. What's his tag name? Monarch?
You don't name yourself after a king without knowing what's what.
Either that, or he's full of it.
Feels like I'm gonna bite through my teeth here.
Deep breath, Devin. Deep breath.
Missile is on the way.
Easiest failure.
Missile on the way. My plane's flying apart. We've got inbound. Pop-up bandit group of bearing 230. Looks like they pulled back for one last push. There's a lot of them. IFF confirmed. Federation Peacekeeping Squadron Crimson identified with more reinforcements. This is it. Ah, shit. Crimson Squadron, ready the MLAs. We're putting an end to this party.
Looks like it's those mercenaries. Think they might turn tail and run again?
Not this time. Open fire. Target the nose. Looking clear across the board, Galaxy?
Yes, sir. All Federation forces are pulling back across the IDL. Hey, pop that champagne bottle I got in the fire extinguisher box. I don't give a damn if we get the consoles right. We're rich after this mission. Rich! Hitman team, Monarch, we've got to thank you. If you didn't tie up those peacekeepers, well, I don't know what would have happened.
I've got an idea.
Hitman team, RTB!
The full fury of Federation air power was unleashed today over the Bering Strait, and miraculously, thanks to the actions of the Hitman team, we have not only survived it, but bested it. The Federation's force projection capabilities will be heavily decreased now that their air support across the theater has been effectively decimated at the moment. It'll take some time for them to shore up more pilots from their vassal states, but for now, we have the total advantage. All that remains for them, then, is their airships, but we're drafting up a plan to deal with them now. Until your next orders, get some rest, and expect a little bonus. We couldn't get an exact count of how many fighters you downed today, but we'll just round up and call it fair.
Hitman team, an interesting hit came up on available taskings, and I don't think anyone else from Sicario's pilots or the other merc teams could take this on. So, listen up.
Independence Force victories countrywide have cascaded into each other. The Federation, now having lost a great deal of its air forces, are falling back. As their front lines fall, however, activity from the more unknown elements of the Federation here in Cascadia have started to stir. Several fishermen within the last week have reported intense bursts of light emanating from the Harkema Industrial Park off the coast. This rig is part of a naval-based private ownership property leased out to several international companies, including a firm called Icarus Armories. The Federation has recently deployed their own defenses to the rig, and, on top of that, it's manned by private security forces. Your objective is to wipe out any Federation presence on the facility, providing a distraction for Sicario's SOF to uncover what they're doing. Ronin will be clearing some of the radar buoys, giving you a way into the airspace undetected. When you make it through, be prepared for anything. We have no idea what else might be being worked on out there.
That's bright enough. I don't need night vision.
Full moon. It's on its perigee right now.
Huh?
Oh, don't give me that. You know I wanted to pilot space shuttles as a kid. Oh, how far I've fallen.
Hitman team, you're entering the AO. Tighten up comms. Let's keep it business from here on out.
I'm always all business, Galaxy.
navire. Ejecting data pod.
Data received and we have a visual on the chute. Wait, where are you going?
They're off radar. Nice work, Hitman team. RTB while we've got a chance.
You don't got to tell me twice. I'm out.
One hell of a night out, I think. Hitman 3, heading home.
Ronan, take the dip and let the tides carry you out. The eminent domain will be on station for pickup.
Copy all. I'll tell you what, Hitman, you keep fighting like that, this one may be over too soon.
The rig has been destroyed and currently being abandoned by the survivors. Eminent Domain also reports that several Federation scientists were brought back by Ronan and are going through debriefing. As a strike mission, this is a success. The Federation and any research group who think they can ally themselves with them have lost a critical facility. However, as a mission to discover further what the Federation was researching exactly, the results are inconclusive. Galaxy reports that little data corroborates directly to weapons research, so it's a dead end at the moment. IF and independent codebreakers will keep looking through the recovered data, but until that comes up with anything, we're reassigning you to regular sorties. The Independence Force is continuing their offensives, and with your help, the Federation will fold before this war drags on. The offensive operations to take back territory from the Federation has been going well with your continued support, Sicario. Your air support up and down the front has been integral in demoralizing and outright destroying enemy air superiority. All this, however, has forced the Federation to respond in overwhelming force. Our intelligence has obtained a crucial piece of information on the deployment of the Federation's main airship fleet, Task Force 1. Task Force 1's deployment to Cascadia would be overwhelming and costly to the Independence Force. A direct confrontation would be nothing less than a disaster. Thankfully for us, they're not yet in the country and are on the last leg of their journey. In the Pacific, the Kingdom of Sawaki is an associate nation of the Federation, much like how Cascadia was before the war. Their islands are rich in natural resources and therefore an economic hub in the middle of the Pacific. Because of this, the main Federation harbor for airships on this side of the globe rests there. The plan is this. Sicario will lead an air assault of mercenaries in, taking out the airship fleet while they're in port. We're devoting every single aerial tanker we have in order for you to reach out there. Hitman team, you'll be on point with Sicario. The port and the surrounding area is entirely a militarized industrial sector, all meant for maintaining the airship fleet and, on a lesser note, the naval forces of the Federation. This is a target-rich environment, and we expect nothing less than total dismantling of the Federation's infrastructure and force deployment capability in the entire Pacific. We're unsure on how the Kingdom of Sawaki will respond, but be on the lookout for their local air force. Some nations in alliance with the Federation might not see it our way.
Task Force 1 is in
News outlets throughout the world have stated the obvious. Task Force 1 has been crippled in port. Lone airships remain in the region, but none with the combat experience or firepower as the Federation's main pride. Defensive positions held by the Federation banking on their arrival have quickly folded, and the snowball effect has begun. The war is going our way, thanks to you. The Kingdom of Sawaki has kept quiet regarding this, but collateral damage to throne facilities were kept to a minimum. What damage they did sustain, they blamed the Federation for not maintaining a proper defense, despite what the Sawaki people have offered them. No matter the cost, however, this is a massive blow to the Federation that they can't possibly recover from.
These last few weeks have been victory after victory for the Independence Force. Entire front lines have either fallen or been abandoned by Federation troops in Cascadia. The amount of defectors and prisoners are skyrocketing with each subsequent win. We've now almost taken back every geothermal facility and key strategic point outside of our nation's urban centers. Your mission today, Hitman, make sure that the countryside will return to its rightful owners, the Cascadian people. I will be rejoining the main offensive lines in the meantime. However, I will link back up with you when the time to take Presidia is nigh.
Grimwood Coast is among one of the last of the Federation-occupied zones in the Cascadian countryside, it being a delta which a mass amount of retreating Federation manpower and equipment are exfiling through. With many falling back to Presidia through here, it is imperative that we take control of the area to prevent further manpower and firepower from retreating. The Federation is on its last legs in this region, so they've been setting fires to block our advances. Our reformed firefighting corps have been running water drops for the last 72 hours, but unfortunately the wildfires have not gone out. We cannot afford to wait any longer. Hitman Team, you will provide CAS to ground forces, moving through and taking out the last of the Federation in this area, preventing it to be used as a rally point for their forces. Due to all the smoke, expect ground level visibility to be low. The terrain is dangerously deceptive.
The battle is well underway. Engage at will.
This is 5 Brigade Rainbow, Captain Sykes speaking. We thought the war was in the frickin' bag when they reorganized our brigade, but I guess not. Can anyone give us cover? We can't let this entire grind burn down.
Captain Sykes will predispose on combat
needs to die. Not when this war is about to be over. All call signs. The Federation is standing down in this AO. Rally prisoners, grab their equipment. Hopefully the rest of their comrades nationwide will do the same eventually.
Hitman team, rally back at base. We're done here.
I'm gonna have to take a dip in the lake to get this damn smoke out of my hair. Never seen the Federation just fall apart like that.
All this fire. It was all for nothing then. I'm not a tree hugger, but I grew up around woods like these. Damn shame.
Federation forces have folded in the region. The majority of those that escaped today have been rallying back at their in-country headquarters. Prospero. Independence Force units are reorganizing for an attack on the trade city as practice for the invasion of Presidia. You're on call, Hitman team. Be ready. Prospero, the economic heart of this side of the world. Even the cities of Moira and Byzantium in the Federation are challenged by it. This was a city whose main purpose was to breed trade, both coming into Cascadia and coming out. It's the largest airship port in Cascadia, and when we went to war, the Federation secured it. A majority of the remaining air traffic, both military and civil for the Federation, operates out of this port. What we're looking at then is the main source of aerial power for the Federation in this war. Our objective is twofold then. The elimination of Federation air power outright, and to show the international community that by taking this city, the Federation is incompetent in protecting world interests. Shelling of the city has been ongoing throughout the last few days, weakening much of the defenses both on the ground and in the air. However, the time is now to move in and secure Prospero and its port. Ground units have already surrounded the AO and are making their way in. Hitman team, you will be tasked in making sure the Federation does not rally a proper aerial defense of the area. Federation air power has constantly been recalled to Prospero, and refitting and rearmament has ensured that there has been a constant counterattack from fighters and attackers stemming from the port. Be aware of reinforcements coming from inside and outside the AO. If this goes well, the enemy will be out of steam, and the Federation will falter when we finally come for Presidia.
Wingman team, we're kicking the Hornet's nest. Be advised you'll have fast movers rolling off runways and coming in from outside the AO.
All batteries concentrate on my mark. We've got air support coming in, so let's return the favor! Adjust from last volley 50 meters. Coordinates 32904. We're not trying to hit the terminals. Fire for effect. We're lighting up this entire grid. Mark! Fire! it. We've got positive contact with the crowd mercenary. All units, concentrate on him.
Monarch showering down.
To all Federation forces in Prospero, lay down your arms and you will not be harmed. The war is over for you. No need to die for an unjust cause.
Missile is on the way. Hitman 1, locked on.
Identify yourself. I'm the commander of the peacekeepers in Cascadia. You'd be well to let us proceed.
Missile away, missile away.
Why are we even holding air in this place? Rebel air cover has air superiority now.
Enemy aircraft shut down.
This war's gonna end at some point. I'm just glad to be picking up what pay I can.
Are we still flying after this? With Sicario?
What else are we doing with our lives?
Okay. Let's get out of the tower and evacuate into the basement. Arrows from Crystal Kingdom. Someone send us up the line. Some of the city still here says the Fed seized their planes and stranded them here. All civilian flights in or out stopped about a week ago. They used those planes to ship out Federation VIPs and whatnot.
Missile away, missile away.
I can feel it now. If it was Prospero, all they have is Presidia.
What happens to us then?
Vacation? Go to the Caribbean for a bit?
I'll take a year off if I had a choice.
Hitman 1, locked on.
Stand down! I will let you carry out these orders. Captain Flowers, that's your name, right? If we don't show the rebels absolute terror, we will lose this war. Step aside. Over my dead body. I will be the officer responsible for making this call. Stand down, Captain. You're gonna have to kill me.
Radar lock, take him down. Radar lock, take him down.
Try to minimize collateral damage to the facilities and runways. We're gonna have to co-opt this place fast. This is Major Wingman. My tank is meeting zero hostile resistance. Federation troops are either notified or surrendering outright. A lot of them are Cascadian nationals. What's the call? Tag and send them back behind the line. Grab any intel we can.
Stacked up.
Killing you, Crips on the horn? This is Brent Steven trying to cover a lot of retreats.
Locked on.
They're in the net command. Send it. Authenticate. Solutions 0816. Authenticate. Blaze. Read back. Blaze. May God have mercy.
The hell is... Holy shit. Thermal signature rising.
What is it, Galaxy?
This is AWACS Galaxy to Alcon. I repeat, this is AWACS Galaxy to Alcon. 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 We have incoming ordnance. Cruise missile type. Thermal signatures are off the charts. Hunker in a place or get out of the area. All fighters, I'm sending IFF info. Intercept as many as you can.
How many?
Too many. Hey, pilot, get us out of the AO now.
Intercept? What the hell does he expect us to do? What's so special about these things?
We don't take these things out, we're all gonna be up to our necks in shit. reports.
Hitman 2. Still here, I think.
Hitman 3. My plane's alright. What the hell was that?
Hell if I know. Check your radios. I can't raise anyone on the horn.
My GPS is out too.
You seeing the stuff on the ground? It's like the apocalypse.
It's not our problem. Hitman team, push 120 and link up with my plane. We are RTB. This country's gone insane. Calamity. That's what this is. This is what it had to be, right? Right? My God. Hitman, stay glued to my plane, because I don't know if my transmission range is worth anything at this point. Rose Tower isn't responding on any frequency, or any other rebel base I have on record. Hell, even the Fed stations are down.
No shit, we're not getting signals. You see what's happening on the ground?
Hey, Galaxy. Is this what I think it is? You know what? Don't answer that. We should be getting out of the AO, out of this country. What the hell are we doing heading back to base?
Because we're mercenaries, not heartless. We have to go see if the boss and the rest of Sicario's okay. Besides, we're not getting far if this is as widespread as it looks. target's off radar. I don't see any shoots.
Nice shooting, boss.
Oh, what? Monarch's boss now?
You look down there and tell me Franken's alive.
I'll tell you myself, Miss London.
Crap.
Hold on, clearing up the signal. I recognize this pattern.
This is Assassin 1 to all surviving units. Seize radio silence.
Good God, you were playing possum?
You don't get my job that easy, Dominic. All survivors, saddle up and get airborne. We want above this go rodeo as soon as possible.
Any of the circus survive?
Yeah, one plane. We're gonna get a head count soon. Why?
Load up the stuff from our barracks, sir. It's the least you can do for us after saving your asses.
Fair enough, Hitman 3. The runway seems intact. Get down here and fuel up. I think we've about overstayed our welcome.
What are we gonna do now? We're dead men. We're dead. The entire Bounty Hunters Guild is gonna be right up our ass the second we're in any airspace that's not here.
We'll figure out something. Let's just get down to the boss and see what we've got.
Sicario, I'm glad I've caught you. You better not be leaving. I don't think we're staying, if that's what you want.
You have a contract to complete. I'll switch your IFF to hostile real quick, flyboy. Don't test me.
Wait. I want to tell you something in person. Please, just hear me out. Stick around for 5 minutes, I beg you. Dust Mother, I don't like where this is going.
We've had a really, really bad day, Stardust. You'd be making a big mistake if you told us to stay. You know that?
Listen to the lady. She's got rank on you, if you remember who she is.
Quite frankly, Major London, I don't give a damn who you are. And I understand. You don't want to be here. That's as true today as it was when you, Hitman, left Cascadia the first time, right?
You don't know a lick about us.
You're on our ride out of here. Either pay to come with us or go. Whatever you do, don't waste our time.
If I may make Cascadia's case, you're still contracted to Cascadia, Sicario. You have a bargain to fulfill, and quite frankly, you're worth more to us now than ever.
Look outside. You think there's a Cascadia left?
It looks worse than it is, promise. My countrymen are scattering to safe zones to shelter in place. We'll return soon enough after this hell passes. When we do, we'll need your help.
Me and my soldiers don't fight losing wars.
This war will not be lost. Not with all of you still remaining.
All of us? What do you mean? Sicario has been nearly wiped.
Perhaps. But for a man of your boss's particular persuasion, Cascadia will offer you this to rebuild.
There's nothing you can offer to get me to die for a lost cause. The Earth itself opened up to fight you. Don't you understand that? Jesus Christ.
Is that enough? Is that everything you want?
A mission?
Orders, and what you need to carry it out. Go to the periphery and bring back everyone who can fight beneath your banner. For all Cascadia knows, you can just take this and run away with it, never to return. But we put our trust in you to come back with the cavalry. If not, well, I guess you'll just be the low-life mercenary that turned away when history needed him most.
You really are that desperate, aren't you? We'll see.
We won't. We have targets on the back of our head. People will come hunting us. I don't care what Kaiser does, because it doesn't involve us.
You three are our best pilots. Cascadia will protect you when this war has ended.
You're a fool for even trying to promise that. We aren't for sale. We're leaving. Go ahead and lose this war. This is your great lie in it.
And you think running will be any better for you? The Federation has got your number. And as far as I can tell, Cascadia is the only shot all of you have for living out the rest of your lives.
Send them for all I care. We're dead men walking.
Damn it, listen to yourself, woman! Even if me and Monarch let you carry out this death wish of yours, we'll still be caught up with it. Stardust here, at least it sounds like he has an alternative.
Correct.
What's that?
Why don't you take a look first, Commander Franken?
What the hell? It's not for me.
Come on, man, what is it?
Take a look for yourselves.
Is that what I think it is? Oh, shit.
You pull through for us, I will give you more than your freedoms, your lives. It'll be like as if the last 20 years never happened for you. You can have your new start, or continue your life as it is right now. But this, it'll let you do that. You'll be free. You can do whatever you want. Cascadia owes you to have this.
This deal. If we make it, if you give us this, nothing goes back to normal.
It's better than nothing. Hell, a whole lot better than nothing. Galaxy, you stick around with Hitman. They'll need you. I'll go out of country for a bit. Gather up an army.
Oh, come on. What the hell? Why do I get to stay?
Because I own you still. That and you'll do more good here as I go recruit.
You'll stay in country. Continue the fight. Keep us above ground.
Well, we'll need a base for that. Rosedower is about to be swallowed.
We're working on it. Options are slim at the moment, but...
There's a highway that never got the funds it needed out by the Daner Valleys. My dad saw to that. I know how Cascadian infrastructure bills were. The section should still be there?
Aye. Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Lead the way?
You're still full of surprises, Peter.
I aim to entertain.
Well, that's it then. Hitman, I'll be seeing you.
Hitman, find your place and stand by. If those highways you say are good, we'll be sending more pilots your way to support. When the orders come down, you better be up to it.
Got some interesting airmail. Looks like we've got a mission lined up.
Among the first of the Independence Force assets which we were able to recover outright from the geothermal disaster were the partisan scout units. Woods people and rangers from our park services who were no stranger to dangerous terrain. When combined with natives from the Dustlands or volunteers from our south, we've had ample ability to scout out scattered Federation forces still recovering. Facilities and bases that were built out of range of any notable geothermal hotspots have become rallying points for the Federation. And as our partisan scouts have observed, the largest one in this immediate region is at the historic Bright Fortress and Weather Facility. Tactically, in the early stages of the war, this installation was of marginal importance, often being used as a secondary base for damaged aircraft to land at and to bounce signals from the now disabled Solana Com facility. Its location in a relative geothermal safe zone, however, has made it a new rallying point for the surviving Federation forces in this area. On-the-ground intel has denoted that these forces are gearing up to renew the offensive in this area, and if they do, the Federation would have started the momentum first on reigniting this war. Hitman Team, you are to lead our surviving Allied pilots on a tactical strike on this facility, denying the Federation the first move.
So that's it, huh? Business as usual? They fly out a letter and we're going back out.
Better than sitting on concrete all day. What are you complaining about anyway? At least you're getting paid for it.
Your planes are good. Munitions and fuel all set. Hitman Team, it's your call to go up.
Weather's clearing up. This is your one shot to take off for a bit.
units, follow him in. Monarch, on your go. Missile is on the way.
Is this what we're considering a safe zone? Sheesh.
Do we have to worry about any civilians?
Negative. Now I'm gonna get going in. Hold on, what area we have left. As long as we can drive them off, we'll be able to wait for reinforcements.
Drive them off. If they want us to roll out stuff to destroy, we're dead meat. Dead.
We got one. Fox 2.
It's gone too easy. What we're fighting for. This doesn't seem right. Never promise it's worth what we're doing. You're right. Continuing to engage.
Ground asset destroyed.
Pound this abomination. It should have enough juice to get us into the fight. We'll be fitting ducks to that mercenary. You don't know that. Engage.
All units be advised. Seems like they're powering up some old prototypes. Land battleships, it looks like.
Come on, you pissants. Shoot me down. I'm waiting for it.
These things, impractical SOBs.
Positive tone. Missile is on the way. Missile is tracking. Light him up. Ground unit knocked out. Bonsai. Monarch missile shot. Monarch, you've got a good block.
Launch missile. It's mine.
Right on target. Defense is pacified. All Federation units are either no factor or destroyed. Hitman team, remain on station for one last sweep and then RTB. Or RTH? Whatever, just come back to the highway.
The operation was a success. Federation forces in this area have been scattered and rendered no factor. If not the elements, then our secondary forces, when they sweep through, will deal with any who remain. In parallel with this mission, several other organized IF forces launched similar attacks on unprepared Federation units. With this kickoff, we can chase the Federation back into Presidia, and hopefully off of Cascadia forever. The Federation is disorganized, on the retreat. They know what we've been through, and unlike them, we will not make their mistakes. Hitman team, stand by.
This is Dr. Scott Domblowskis transmitting from the University of Presidia with an update on the geothermal activity that has wrecked our nation. As we've learned, the Ring of Fire as a whole has erupted in series of disaster throughout, so we Cascadians alone are not bearing the sole brunt of this reprise of the calamity. That being said, as we are at the epicenter, we have had the worst of it. That time is over now. Cordium reactivity is down to normal ambient levels in all but the most concentrated areas, and so we can expect the cessation of geothermal storms and tectonic disturbances. I advise high caution to any who would dare move from shelter or travel in affected areas. But for the most part, the natural dangers that remain will be a great deal less of an issue compared to the destructive effects from the loss of infrastructure and ongoing wildfires. However, rest assured, it's not going to get any worse.
Well, that's the word from the professor himself. Hitman, the damage this disaster did on us is not to be understated, especially on our Air Force. We're not the only ones operating out of a highway right now, and we're lucky. You're not even a full squadron. That being said, you're the most combat capable right now, and in order to rectify that, we're returning to Prospero. With as big as it is, even while damaged, it'll still serve as the best operating base for the final operations.
We've been able to get in contact with surviving scouts in order to scope out Prospero, and as far as we can tell, it is now abandoned ever since this calamity took hold. With residual effects subsiding, now is the time to pick up where we left off. Hitman team, move into the airspace above Prospero and maintain air superiority as we move manpower and equipment in. Initial recon denotes that there is nothing in the way of any Federation ground forces in the surrounding areas or on site, so the biggest threat will come from the air. Equip your planes appropriately. Wheels up in the hour.
Eyes on. It's quiet.
It also ain't pretty. Stardust, you got a read? Affirmative. We'll be moving personnel by helicopter and cargo plane shortly. Hitman, remain on station. Last alarm is on. Good spinning, good on the weapons. Hitman team, we've got some Fed-tagged IFFs around.
We finally moved into Prospero, and the thermal activity within hotspots in Cascadia is subsiding. By not letting up the pressure, and by taking our land back even during Cascadia's darkest hours, we have now taken back the initiative, the offensive, and soon enough, our country. Federation forces throughout the country are retreating off coast or congregating in Presidia. This means that they'll have their final stand on this continent in our capital city. Hitman team, stand by. The time is nearly upon us. Presidia is on the horizon, and the Federation is cornered like a rat in Cascadia. This is their final beast, and they are desperately trying to keep it fed.
The Independence Force is preparing for one last naval engagement before the siege of Presidia begins. For months, ever since the lockdown on aerial cargo and commerce, the Federation military in the region has used Presidian ports to assist its supply train. This only increased when Prospero was lost and the geothermal fractures were reignited. Our fleet, along with eminent domain, has tried its best to plug all the holes in our own blockade. However, the Federation has brute forced their way into having a line. The naval convoy is the Federation's only lifeline left. Once it is severed, we can choke out the considerable defenses of Presidia. However, there is also another objective to this. In Presidia's main naval harbor is the Federation's first naval battle group. Its concentration within the harbor currently represents the strongest component of Presidia's defenses. Ever since the war started, they have not moved from their position in order to reinforce the city. We intend to change that. By taking out these vital convoys, we anticipate that this fleet will have to respond in order to keep Presidia from being trapped. Independence Force naval elements not already predisposed are being rerouted to just outside of Presidian waters to throw themselves upon the naval blockade. Its destruction, the immediate replacement with our own blockade, and then the removal of the Federation's own naval force is paramount in winning this war. Support our naval forces in sinking the Federation Navy. Victory here means we save a lot of lives when the final push comes.
All fighters, lock into our CIC. Tagging targets now. This goes against everything I know about naval warfare, but we have to cross the T. What does that mean?
It means it is going straight to the enemy line while they have it completely broadsided.
We have to get close. Whoever interference is messing with our ASMs and our usual engagement distances. We've got to go gun to gun, and I know this ship's harbor can take it. All ships, full steam ahead.
India team, provide support for the eminent domain. A stranglehold must be established.
Here it is. Battle stations.
start tying the noose.
All ships form around the imminent domain. The Federation had no chance to leave. Begin the blockade.
We are back in business.
It's good to have you back, boss.
You bet your ass it is.
The noose is beginning to tighten, and the Federation will need some time, if they are at all able, to rally forces in order to break our blockade. It is in this time that we will reclaim Presidia. With our reinforcements having arrived, and with you at the helm, Hitman, victory is assured.
Hitman, Galaxy. Glad to see you're still kicking. This last month abroad has been really interesting. Long story short, a good part of the world is knowing where the wind is blowing. And I've got myself an army no one has ever seen before. Mercenaries, freedom fighters, maybe a secret proxy squadron or two from anti-Federation powers. But hey, we're all in it together now. Refit and reload. We'll get back to it soon enough.
We're gonna let the blockade stew for as long as we can as invasion preparations are set. But we've gotta move fast on the capital, or they'll be too entrenched. Hitman team, stand by. May the Dust Mother see us through.
I brought everyone I could find. Every freedom fighter, every war junkie, every soldier of fortune. Throughout the world, Cascadia has become a beacon of rebellion against the Federation. And for that, I have gathered an army. They're no Sicario, but it's the best we've got. And the rebels will take everything they can. At first, when taking this job, I thought it was only business. That I could find my glory here. But after all they've done, what they did to us, to Sicario, only blood will pay for this contract now.
We intended to keep the blockade going for at least a month to drain the Federation defenders, but circumstances have forced our hand. We are moving on Presidia today.
Listen up. This is it.
With the supply lines cut and the blockade holding against any reinforcements, Presidia is the final Federation stronghold in Cascadia. Once it falls, Cascadia will be liberated. The city has been deeply entrenched against both land and air attacks. The firepower which exists there now is the sum of any units that have survived this long into the war. With no way out, their only chance at survival is to fight. We intend to meet them and then end them outright. The operation to take back Presidia will be separated into 4 cardinal parts: land, air, sea, and endgame. All combat operational ground forces will be pushing into Presidia from inland, surrounding the enemy forces. From there, they will start dismantling the resistance and taking control of the city. At sea, the eminent domain will be moving in toward the shore to provide gunnery support and wipe out the remaining naval defenders. Overhead, the last of the Federation air power and country will be out trying to inflict as much damage on the IF as possible. Once these factors are accounted for and our forces are in position, the final phase will commence. We will start moving into the city toward the port to wipe out the Federation from Cascadia once and for all. Hitman team, you are among our most veteran elements among the Independence Force. You will be our spearhead. It is by your attacks that the offensive will conduct itself. Choose which element of the battle you want to take on and in what order. We're still trying to gather last-minute reinforcements ourselves, and scavenging what the Federation has left behind, but without your support, it will not be enough. We don't know how this battle will be won, but it ends in the complete and utter devastation of either us or them. Cascadia is our home, and Presidia is its heart. The flag that flies over it at the end will decide all of our fates.
All call signs commence the offensive. We are the descendants of those who would not be ruled. Show them what that means.
To all mercenaries, do not count days. Do not count miles. Count only the number of Feds you have killed. Go!
Hitman team, you're on point. Proceed to what area you think you can take on first and engage.
Diplomat, dark. The Federation has multiple layers of defenses, and you're gonna have to go right through them all. We go and talk again if not with the militia down here. And man team, Monarch, if you're listening, I give my graces to the King of Hell. Swivel, now! All of us! We've been spiked!